He is the GBC of Italy and many other parts of the world. And he's a wonderful leader. He also had been the chairman of the GBC and executed that responsibility very, very expertly. Hare Krishna, Hare
Thank you very much, and I'm sure we all will look forward to having his association also one day.
Actually, I was thinking of that. He should come to South Africa. Since you can't go to Italy, it's easier that he comes. And I'm sure if Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj extends his invitation, he'll force to come.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. I would like to also call to speak to us a very senior devotee whom Maharaj had invited to come to South Africa with him this time, and with whom I've had some wonderful association over these last few days. Very intelligent, gentlemanly conversation and ability to present a philosophy in such wonderful ways. He holds a very important position, previously being involved in finance, a director of finance, but now the deputy director of Mayapur. I'd like to call His Grace Advaita Hari Prabhu to please speak.
It's going to spoil the mood.
ज्ञानतिमिरन्नस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। I'll begin with a Bengali prayer song written by Sachidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Quite many years back, there Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that বিষয় কুম্ভীরতাহে ভীষণ গর্জন কামের তরঙ্গ সদা করে উৎপীড়ন প্রাক্তন বায়ুর বেগ সহিতে না পারি কাঁদিয়া আকুল প্রাণ না দেখি কান্ডারি। So Bhaktivinoda Thakur in that particular verse says that we have all fallen into this material world, material existence, with so many sense objects. He is comparing the sense objects as a crocodile with a roaring sound, as if it is calling us to devour us completely, with that kind of a situation. And then he says, there are a lot of ripples, there are waves coming towards me. They are as if inviting me that I should go there and get eaten up by those sense objects. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I am crying. I don't know how to come out of this situation. I am trying to find out if there is a boat around or there is a boatman around who can help me out of this kind of a situation. So that kind of a boatman we need in our life to come out of this particular situation where we are in today. And His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj is one of them. I have seen him as a boatman. He's inviting people, those who are completely sinking in this material existence. He's inviting them, come on board. You will have a safe ride to the shore. There is no doubt about it. With his smiling face, with his good gesture, friendly behavior, compassionate behavior towards everyone whatsoever, everybody feels, yes, they are comfortable. When they come near, they start getting association from His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. People are very comfortable. They are at home. People feel that they are at home. And so they start practicing Krishna consciousness. They come on the boat of that particular boat and they are very comfortably situated. Now Maharaj, before I could have his first darshan, you'll be surprised, still he was preaching to me. I didn't have Maharaj darshan for many years, but after I started coming to ISKCON, but it was through his sweet, melodious kirtan, with a mood of devotion. Initial stages when I was not able to make out many things, but whenever I was listening to kirtans, Maharaj kirtan, it was making a lot of sense to me. Our acharyas have given us so many things in the form of poems or in the form of poetries or sort of prayer songs. Now when we take it up, at times it becomes very difficult for us to understand. We need a person, like as I said, we need a boatman. Similarly, we need a person who can explain to us, being less intelligent, less qualified person. Somebody has to sort of explain to us what it means. And that is how, when I was to listen to Maharaj's songs, it was really sort of a big boost. I was feeling encouraged that yes, these songs have got so many meaning. When it came to surrender, I thought surrender means I will tell everybody have surrender and do whatever I feel like. Then I heard Maharaj singing, Manusho deho geho, jo kichu mor, or pilu tu apade, Nanda Kishore. So, this is written by again Sachidananda Bhakti Charu Thakur, and Maharaj brings us in a particular way. It is palatable way, in the form of songs, that we can understand very clearly what it means the surrender, what is the meaning of surrender. That is how Maharaj was preaching to me, though I have not met Maharaj at that point of time. But as longing for a time, when the time will come, I'll definitely have Maharaj darshan and take his mercy. It was not very many years, it was just after 2 or 3 years, I was able to have Maharaj darshan in Mayapur. There was a Gaur Purnima festival, I was there, so I had Maharaj darshan. So initially when Maharaj was taking the class, again I was not able to understand because I was looking at Maharaj with awe and reverence. My mind was totally fixed on Maharaj, nothing is going inside. Then I said, there is something wrong. I asked Maharaj, I could not, this is a long back story, I couldn't understand anything. You know, all the scriptures look something different to me, but I was looking at Maharaj, that's all. That was my only complete thing. Looking at Maharaj with awe and reverence, yes, he's the person, he's the embodiment of all the scriptures, you know, all the scriptural knowledge, which I am not able to understand, but he's carrying them in a so lucid manner. Such a nice way he's carrying it. So that is how gradually I was fortunate also later on when I came back from the Gulf. I got a service in Mayapur. Then I started getting closer association of Maharaj. I felt very fortunate that I had that. And at that point of time, I started observing Maharaj, his qualities, how to deal with situation. What is compassion? How we display compassion? What is kindness? How to give others kindness? What is friendliness? All that I started gradually trying to get little bit from Maharaj, because all I cannot assimilate in one day is a process of time. So that was happening in a nice way over a period of time. I was very comfortable gradually learning things from Maharaj. Even so far the scope of learning is concerned, it looks to be infinite. There is no end to it. Other day, 2 days back, when Maharaj was giving class here, seminar here on glories of Mahamantra, there are 2 missing points on the song written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I was trying to concoct, calculate this way, that way. What are they? But you won't believe, it is Maharaj in his class, very so clear to me. So with that particular situation, we owe quite a lot to Maharaj, and we have to give something. So what do we give him? As his spiritual children, I think the most important thing is that the best Guru Dakshina is that whatever Maharaj tells us, whatever instructions are given, you know, we follow them in toto, without any deviation, without any correction. We have to follow that. And like we say, Guru Mukho Paddo Akko Chitete Koriya Vikko. the Guru Mukho, spiritual master, whatever he says, that is like from his lotus mouth, that becomes something very valuable for us, and we put it on our heart and start implementing without any correction, without any modification. And we don't expect anything else other than following the instruction of our spiritual masters. On this very auspicious day, I pray to their lordships Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Maharani to bestow their mercies upon Maharaj for his all well-being and good health, so that we can continue to get Maharaj's association and instruction from him for our own spiritual benefits. Please join me in glorifying Maharaj with a very loud appreciation. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj ki Jai! Vyasa Puja Mahotsav ki Jai!
Thank you very much, Advaita Hari Prabhu. We have also an offering that was sent by email by His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj from Mayapur, and Ram Vijay Prabhu will read that out. Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj did come to South Africa once some time ago, and he's been involved also in a position of directing Mayapur. Some time ago he was the temple president of Bhubaneswar temple, and he is a co-zonal secretary, and he travels all the way as GBC also from Bangladesh to Korea, quite a wide span under his ambit. So, Ravijay.
He also GBC Middle Dubai and all his other countries.
So he has. I was reading some of the description about Maharaj's the ambit of his responsibilities, and I just thought. It would be too numerous to list all those countries, but it's a very, very wide ambit. Thank you much. Ram Vijay Prabhu.
Dear Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Your Holiness. Today, on this most auspicious Appearance Day celebration of Your Holiness, I would like to offer my most humble obeisances at the dust of Your lotus feet. On this auspicious Appearance Day of Your Holiness, I would like to express a few words of glorification of You. It is not that by my glorification you will be glorified. You are already glorified all over the world by your own merits. I will glorify You just for my own purification. Appearance of great souls like Your Holiness brings all auspiciousness to the whole earth. Pure devotees appear in this world by the desire of the Lord. When the Lord feels very merciful upon the fallen souls like us, He sends His pure devotees like Your Holiness to deliver us. Spiritual masters are personification of mercy of Lord Sri Krishna. You are famous in the whole of ISKCON world as a personification of Vaishnava etiquette. Please bless me so that one day I can be so sober like Your Holiness and serve all Vaishnavas with great humility. You have glorified Srila Prabhupada by Your greatness. The whole world is glorifying Srila Prabhupada because he has given the world great personalities like Your Holiness. Your heart is fully dedicated to Srila Prabhupada and his society, ISKCON. Your exemplary mood of dedication to Srila Prabhupada is really very inspiring. I pray at Your lotus feet that on this auspicious day of Your Vyasa Puja, kindly forgive me for all offenses I have committed at Your lotus feet, and bless me to keep You, and bless me to help You in Your service to Srila Prabhupada. I hope this letter will find you in good health and Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. Your humble servant, Bhakti Charu Swami.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Bhakti Charu Maharaj also joined brilliant devotee. For that matter, just as I was saying, that Kadamkananda Maharaj is the first guru, first spiritual master of the second generation. Bhakti Charu Maharaj is the first GBC from the second generation. He is a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj, very, very capable devotee. When he was just a new new devotee, young devotee, he was very committed to distributing books, Srila Prabhupada's books, and he was traveling around in Sankirtan party distributing books. And then he started some programs in Calcutta on his own. Like that program was, like for 3 days, they would first select an area with a nice park. And for 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they would go out in the morning, early hours in the morning, at 5:30. They would go out on Harinam, 5:30 to 6:30, 7 o'clock, they would do the Harinam. And they would send out the invitation, door to door. They would give the invitation for a program that will take place on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And it was a very, very successful program, very effective preaching program, like all the neighborhood got involved. And this way we used to have, like from, say, I think he used to start the program from October onwards, and used to go on till about January or so, in January, February, for 4 or 5 months. Every week we used to have these programs, and this was started by him. A wonderful visionary and preacher. Then he started this program all over Bengal. For these 3, 4, 5 months, they would go from village to village, town to town, all over Bengal, having a very well organized programs like drama, slideshow, movie show, and kirtan and bhajan, and motivating thousands of people in this way. And so this is how, when he was just a new devotee, he started to innovate various types of preaching strategies to spread Krishna consciousness. And now he is a GBC, and he has a very large zone actually, very much involved, because Jayapataka Maharaj is involved in various, I think Jayapataka Maharaj is the biggest zone in the world. And Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj is involved in the zones, as I was saying. Actually, when Smita Krishna mentioned Bangladesh to Korea, I thought probably he is geographically taking it, Bangladesh to Korea. But later on in opportunity, he took the alphabetically, from B to K. And even then I would say that it was not quite appropriate, because he could have started something with A, like Abu Dhabi. And anyway, he is also involved in Middle East. He is involved in Bangladesh, and he is not only taking care of his responsibility with GBC in different parts, but he also has innovated or started various new programs. Like one program he started in Bengal and Bangladesh called Jagrata Chhatra Samaj. You see, in the Vedas, there is one statement at the beginning of Vedas. It says, Uttishtata Jagrata Prapto Varani Bhotata. Uttishtata, rise up, and Jagrata, wake up. So taking the cue, I think, from that expression, he started his Jagrata Chhatra Samaj, which means the awakened student community. in this way he is preaching to the students of this, even the schools and colleges and universities. And so this is how he is very effectively helping Srila Prabhupada's mission. His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj ki
to welcome His Grace Shamla Prabhu. And we do know that Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj will always acknowledge that it was by Shamla's intervention that he was able to be here in South Africa. So we're very, very indebted to Shamla Prabhu for that, and also for his fatherliness for the entire community here. Hare Krishna. It's my pleasure now to call His Grace Swarup Damodar Prabhu to please address us. Swarup Damodar Prabhu. He just went up. Okay, we'll swap the position. And I've seen His Grace Vibhu Chaitanya Prabhu. He's our co-president with Sarva Prabhu. Vibhu Chaitanya Prabhu, please come forward. Vibhu Chaitanya Prabhu is such a gentleman. He quietly works in the background and arranges so many wonderful things, and devotees are acknowledging him for his warm interpersonal interaction with all the devotees, and his very caring manner. So I'm very, very happy to present to you Vibhu Chaitanya Prabhu. Please give him a
Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timrandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshuruntam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dear Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. In this wonderful society that His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada has given us, He created a home for people from all walks of life to come and experience something out of this world, and at the same time something real. A home where many devotees take shelter. Some may have left this home temporarily, but everyone has come and deposited different jewels in the form of chanting, kirtan, distributing books, editing, publishing, collecting money, cooking, deity worship, festivals, and so many other treasures. Srila Prabhupada himself has contributed and left behind some of the most priceless touchstones. Material touchstones turns anything it touches into gold. However, spiritual touchstones have a spiritual effect, making everyone full of love for Krishna and his devotees. Maharaj, you have certainly contributed so much to our home by spreading the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, by expanding our home so that more and more souls can take shelter, and by taking care of all the devotees and guests of our home. Whether it's personally making sure that the devotees are properly fed, or going out of your way to make sure that the devotees are nicely facilitated, we see your genuine love and care. Recently, while speaking about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and quoting his teachings, my spiritual master said, we should thank you, Maharaj, for bringing these teachings to ISKCON, as they are as pure as nectar. The quote that stands out the most to me was that we should always desire auspicious things, and there are 63 such nectar quotes. We have heard from many devotees and seen videos of how Maharaj personally served and cooked for Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj even pleased Srila Prabhupada by translating Srimad Bhagavatam into the Bengali language. Maharaj, we see by your example what full surrender and dedication to Srila Prabhupada means. Thank you for taking us closer to Srila Prabhupada by showing us how to serve and please Srila Prabhupada and trying to get us to understand and follow his mood and instructions. My Guru Maharaj was appreciating your bottomless pizza a few days ago, but more than that, we appreciate your bottomless ocean of love and care. As you contributed so much to ISKCON by teaching us how to have real loving relationships and to be a humble servant of the Vaishnavas. Saints of the caliber in themselves are themselves places of pilgrimage. Because of the purity, they are constant companions of the Lord, and therefore they can purify even the places of pilgrimage. A Vaishnava travels to places of pilgrimage to purify them and reclaim fallen conditioned souls. This is the one of the duties of a Vaishnava. Actually, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not a living entity, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Consequently, He is fully independent controller, yet in His position as a devotee, He carries out the activities of a devotee. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. Thank you for constantly traveling to this room in Srila Prabhupada's house, giving us your saintly association, inspiring and saving us. Please let us know if we can serve you in any way. Happy Vyasa Puja. Your servant, Viva Chaitanya. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Thank you very much. Besides presenting an offering to Maharaj, it must be a lot of pressure for him that his own spiritual master is listening to his Thank you so much. And he's done his spiritual master proud. Thank you, Viva Chaitanya Prabhu. I'd like to call one of our other senior devotees from my first encounter with him, a very, very astute scholar. I remember his room at the temple had only shelves of books. And you also, Maharaj, acknowledged that his contribution in terms of his scholarly presentations and so on. That's none other than His Grace Raghava Pandit.
Om Jnana Timirandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So it's a great honor and privilege for me to speak today on this very auspicious day of Maharaj's Vyasa Puja. Actually, it is something which we should not take for granted. The last time I spoke at Maharaj's Vyasa Puja was in 1990, some 20 years ago. And the year prior to that was the first time I actually met His Holiness, Bhakti Charu Swami, in a very sacred place in Vyasa. That year, there were some upheavals. A year or two before that, there were some upheavals in South Africa. And I wasn't quite acquainted with this idea of what it means to fall down. So I didn't know these things. And so after the GBC at that time got into some difficulty, I decided that I would leave South Africa and I would live in India. So at that time also Maharaj had become the GBC for South Africa in 1990. So I was very kind of, at that time I'd maybe just seen a picture of Maharaj once, but we never knew who this personality was, so we were quite looking forward to this. Because prior to that in South Africa, there was a lot of awe and reverence for the authorities, so we couldn't get quite very close to them in terms of like speaking to them or revealing our minds and so forth and so on. So that meeting with Maharaj in Vashana, unbeknown to me, was going to turn my life around. It actually was a turning point in my life, because I had, as Prabhu was saying, I had this love of wisdom, kind of filling this data in my head with the books and so forth and so on, but I didn't know about the wisdom of love. So when I met Maharaj for the first time, I was actually quite shocked, because I got a message that Maharaj wanted to see me. And this was very unusual, because in South Africa we were never asked that, the spiritual master wants to see you like that and so forth. So when I got this message and that Maharaj wants to see me, and I remember very distinctly walking up to Maharaj to meet him, and it was like I wasn't meeting you for the first time. I remember very distinctly this feeling of, I knew Maharaj. So at that time, Maharaj, in his own way, which actually quite impressed me very deeply, was that he has a way, not only with words, but just with actions. And the way he dealt with me, the love which he had shown me in that meeting, touched me very deeply, actually. And I was thinking that, needless to say, after Maharaj had left the day, I decided that I want to be like Maharaj. I wanted to be like Maharaj, but then I thought, and I want to borrow some words from Bhakti Charu Swami in his offering, where he was saying that this word, impossible, is in a fool's dictionary. But because I'm a great fool, that word definitely exists in my dictionary. So even though I was thinking that I want to become like Maharaj, but some part of me was saying, you're an idiot, you're a fool, how can you be like Maharaj, how can you imbibe these qualities? But I remember that I read a quote many, many years ago where Sir Isaac Newton said that the only reason why I can see further than others is because I've stood on the shoulders of giants. So the next year, I was very fortunate that in Mayapur, it was Maharaj's Vyasa Puja, and I happened to be there, and I also got that opportunity to speak there. And then I could see Maharaj's incredible ability to analyze scriptures very, very deeply. And actually it was shown to us not only about 2 days ago also, when we were doing the Holy Name seminar. And this verse, Yata Yata Gauda Padara Vinde, Vindete Bhaktim Kata Punya Rase. And then Maharaj took this one word, Rid Yakashmat, and he analyzed it very deeply, giving the broad meaning to be suddenly. And this word Rid Akashmat means suddenly this love of Radharani floods the heart. So on this day of his Vyasa Puja, I was also thinking that I wanted to pray like that to him, because I'm actually an insignificant person. I'm not anyone in this movement, or I don't hold any big positions or anything at all. But coming here, I was thinking that secretly in my heart I was desiring that I'll be sitting here in this assembly, and suddenly some incredible mercy from Maharaj will actually enter into my heart. So I was thinking like this, and then I was actually very disappointed, because last year Maharaj also had his Vyasa Puja in South Africa, and at that time I was in our temple in Munich, and I was disappointed because I so much wanted to speak at Maharaj's Vyasa Puja. And that night in the temple, I couldn't sleep again, and I became very fired up thinking about the different qualities of Maharaj, and what would I tell Maharaj if I had this opportunity to speak to him? So last night again, when when Smita Krishna Prabhu kindly given me this opportunity to speak, again I couldn't sleep, and I was thinking, what is it that I would say about Maharaj? What is it that I will tell him? What is it that I want to ask of him? So then I began to actually look very deeply into this quality of leadership. And all these things that came up, I don't want to make it too long, but there's 11 things that actually came up for me. And as I began to analyze these different qualities, I began to see it very distinctly in the personality of Bhakti Charu Swami. So as I was lying there thinking of these qualities, the first thing that came up for me is, well, even before we go there, I want to define what a leader is. And it is said that a leader is defined as a custodian of an organization's ideals, the beliefs it cherishes, of its permanent hopes, of the faith which makes an organization out of a mere aggregation of individuals. So the word custodian means a keeper, a guardian, or a caretaker. It is a proactive word that implies action on the part of the bearer. Custodians hold something in trust on behalf of others. It is not a behavior motivated out of self-interest. So, as you know, I made that quote of Sir Isaac Newton that when you observe someone and that person is like a mirror onto you, so basically what you're seeing in that person exists in you in some small measure. So I was looking like this, and then I was thinking, what is it in Murad's character that attracts me? You know, because I could say that I really like him, I love him, but what is it about Murad that I really love? So the first thing that actually came up was this quality of integrity and the integration of outward actions and inner values. A person of integrity is the same on the outside and on the inside. Such an individual can be trusted because he or she never deviates from inner values. In each of these categories, I had an experience, or there was some pastime of Miraj which actually I could speak about, but I don't want to make this talk too long, but I'm just going to give the qualities which came up. So the next one was dedication, and that means spending whatever time or energy is necessary to accomplish the task at hand. A leader inspires dedication by example, doing whatever it takes to complete the next step towards the vision. And the third one that came up for me was magnanimity, and that means giving credit where it is due. A magnanimous leader ensures that credit for successes is spread as widely as possible. It helps people feel good about themselves and draws everyone closer. Now this is quite interesting actually, because when I met Miraj, I was telling you that I had no intentions of coming back to South Africa. And I forgot what was exchanged between us in that meeting in Roshana. Well, one question I remember very clearly was Miraj asking me, so when are you going back to South Africa? And at that time we had the most amazing experience. I thought maybe I'll go back to South Africa because Giriraj Swami and Bhakti Charu Swami were the co-GBCs. And if anything, I would like to say that, I mean, a lot of devotees who come to South Africa comment on the sweetness which is found in this yatra. But I will say that actually a large percentage of this sweetness which is found in South Africa, the credit actually has to go to Bhakti Charu Swami. In fact, he himself says that it's a very sweet yatra. But actually he's glorifying himself because that is this manifesting that sweetness which was there. And we were very young at that time. I remember 1991 in our spiritual lives. And it was such a wonderful combination because if you weren't Murad's disciple, he was absolutely sweet to you. I mean, I've seen some of his disciples get the sauce sometimes. And vice versa, Giriraj Swami, we step out of line, boy, did we get it. And he was very, very sweet to the disciples of Giriraj Maharaj. And at that time, they were the only initiating spiritual masters in South Africa. So most of the devotees actually became disciples of, at that time, Bhakti Charu Swami and Giriraj Swami. So then the next quality which actually came up for me was this quality of humility. And leaders with humility recognize that they are no better or worse than other members of the team. A humble leader is not self-effacing, but rather tries to elevate everyone. Again, I had this experience because one of the most important qualities which, or things which Maharaj has done for me, and which actually has really warmed my heart, and I don't even know if I can actually repay him this debt, is the faith he had in me. At that time in South Africa, there was one controversy, and there were some kind of fingers being pointed at me, and Maharaj was, where's the problem? He had like so much faith, and this faith was actually, it bolstered my ability or the conviction that I should stay in this yatra and play some minor role. And the next one which came up was openness. Actually, as I'm giving you these qualities, you also may have experiences or pastimes where Maharaj actually displayed this. Openness means being able to listen to new ideas, even if they did not conform to the usual way of thinking. When Gairaj Maharaj and Bhakti Charu Swami was the co-GBCs, there were about 10 of us who used to be in these temple meetings, and I could see the openness. It is not some quality, it's a very rare quality actually. This quality to be able to listen to others. And if a point came up, I could see that Maharaj will always think, why did this devotee make this particular point? And this type of openness was very clearly shown by him. Openness builds mutual respect and trust between leaders and followers. Creativity is the ability to think differently, to get outside of the box that constrains solutions. Creativity gives leaders the ability to see things that others have not seen, and thus lead followers in new directions. The next one that came up was fairness, and this means dealing with others consistently and justly. A leader must check all the facts and hear everyone out before passing judgment. When people feel that they are being treated fairly, they reward a leader with loyalty and dedication. So we can see how many of you have actually given your lives and your soul to helping Maharaj. Whatever he instructs, we do with all our hearts and souls. And this is purely because of his interaction with us. And it says that a great leader wins your heart before he asks for your hand. And very often we've actually seen this with Bhakti Charu Swami. Assertiveness is the ability to clearly state what one expects so that there will be no misunderstandings. According to a study in the February 2007 issue of the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, published by the APA, American Psychological Association, they said it seems that being under-assertive or over-assertive may be the most common weakness among aspiring leaders. So to actually get this right is no small issue. And I can see that very nicely displayed in the character of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami. Another nice thing is that one of the things I really like about Maharaj is when he chuckles. He's like, his body begins to... There's a certain idiosyncrasy, and his mouth also takes a certain form and shape, but it actually endears us to him. So his sense of humor is vital to relieve tension and boredom, as well as to diffuse hostility. One time I went to Maharaj and I was telling him something which for me was like quite important. And Maharaj just chuckled and he put his hand over me. And like suddenly that problem was no longer there. I was, wow. You know, so he has this amazing humor, and effective leaders know how to use this humor to energize followers. So mercy, we all need mercy so often. We need to be forgiven for our mistakes and blemishes, to be given a second chance to get things right, to be saved from the consequences of our own foolish actions. Mercy has always been seen as a quality of greatness. Ordinary leaders huff and puff and delight in exercising power. Poor leaders go further, seeking to bolster the insecurity by appearing ruthless and punishing every fault. Only great leaders realize that forgiving people's honest mistakes and helping them do better next time not only builds them but cements their loyalty. Tough, unbending leaders inspire fear. Merciful leaders inspire love, which is better for motivating people to give their all, even when you are not there to watch them. So having said that, I've actually taken that commitment that I would try to do in this lifetime of mine what Maharaj had done for me for one other soul. I don't know who that is going to be, but I tried from that experience I had with him. In fact, my first guinea pig was Nishingananda Prabhu. At that time, he was the temple. He just joined our temple in 1991 in Hillbrow. And at that time, I also wanted to show these qualities of love and to try to inspire like that. And he could do practically anything, from baking a cake to leading a kirtan. He could do anything. But one thing he wouldn't do is talk. He wouldn't give a lecture. So then I began to inspire him, and I said, no, you've got to do like this. And I remember the first time sitting in his class, and you know when someone is very nervous in the first class is when they use this word actually very often. Actually. So he went on using this word actually, but I was very happy because he was actually taking that to become, and he was getting this more like conviction that he can actually do this. So in the same way that Murad had that faith in me, and as I was saying, this is a wonderful opportunity because I never actually told this to him. That I'm also praying for his mercy, and I know that by his mercy, he can actually bring out... I am getting a little nervous now. He can bring out the best in you. So this very beautiful story illustrates my condition, you know, who I am and the faith that Murad had in me. I wanted to take a little step further, but I don't know, the formality of the situation is getting me a little scared. I'll just stick to my script. So a water bearer in India had 2 large pots. Each hung on the end of a pole that he carried across his neck. While one pot was perfect and always delivered a full portion of water at the end of the long walk from the stream to the master's house, the other had a crack in it and arrived only half full. For a full 2 years this went on daily, with the bearer delivering only 1.5 pots full of water to his master's house. Of course, the perfect pot was proud of its accomplishments, perfect to the end for which it was made. But the poor cracked pot was ashamed of its own imperfection, and miserable that it was able to accomplish only half of what it had been made to do. After 2 years of what it perceived to be a bitter failure, it spoke to the water bearer one day by the stream. "I'm ashamed of myself, and I want to apologize to you." "Why?" asked the bearer. "What are you ashamed of?" "I have been able for these past 2 years to deliver only half my load because this crack in my side causes water to leak out all the way back to your master's house. Because of my flaws, you have to do all of this work and you don't get full value from your efforts," the pot said. The water bearer felt sorry for the old cracked pot. And in his compassion he said, "As we return to the master's house, I want you to notice the beautiful flowers along the path." Indeed, as they went up the hill, the old cracked pot took notice of the sun warming the beautiful wild flowers on the side of the path, and this cheered its son. But at the end of the trail, it still felt bad because it had leaked out half its load. And so again it apologized to the